Hello and a warm welcome to all the guys, gals, and non-binary pals watching. I'm Lucas Holland, this is Wiki Weekends, and I'm joined, as always, by Karl Smallwood.
Hello.
And Karl, unfortunately, I've got headphones on, so I can't twist my cat back right now, but you know who always can? Ash Ketchum.
Pokeball, go!
Even as a kid, I knew that was anime, even though I didn't know what anime was.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like, watching kid shows that we didn't really know were like anime. As a kid, we just watched cartoons and, didn't really distinguish. It's like the Ash Ketchum moment of twisting the hat back, or it's the Yugi going, I believe in the heart of the cards.
Okay, Lucas, what is your favourite anime I am now ready to whoop your ass moment? Because Yugi's It's Time to Duel is pretty good. Ash Ketchum's flipping the hat round, but do you know what I'm low-key really a fan of? And it's only in like one movie.
Okay.
It's in like the Super Broly movie before Goku like whoops Broly's ass, and he does that little jumping from side to side thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He doesn't do that in anything else because to animate it would be a ball ache. But I really do like that it's Goku just jumping from side to side, like to like psych himself up. Like for him, it's just sparring.
I do really like the Goku / Piccolo tech of, well, off goes the weighted clothing.
But he throws it with like one hand, right? Like, be gone.
I mean, one of my favourites that you will not appreciate, but I have to mention anyway, is just One Piece. Like, when Zoro puts on the bandana, you know that shit's gotten serious. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have an Ash Ketchum hat. I lost it at some point, so I'm just wearing a One Piece hat instead. But I was like, talk about Ash, I don't even have like the Ash cap anymore. Goddamn.
I've got one. I wear it to the gym. Like, because I have to keep my hair out of my eyes. And I got asked once, like, why are you wearing a Pokemon hat to the gym? And then they realise, oh, that's why.
Because literally, you're doing an Ash and going to the gym. You're doing a Pokemon.
And it's not on purpose, but when I'm doing certain exercise, I will turn it around to keep the hair out of my eyes and I'm doing, like, bench press or something.
Just when Karl gets to the bench and he just turns that around, like, it's serious time.
I've got to go plus ultra for that last rep.
I've got to ask, though.
Yes.
Is it, like, the original Indigo League hat?
Yes.
Yeah, you're rocking the original, because obviously the original's great. I do quite like some of the later ones where it's like the kind of like black front with the coloured Pokeball on as well. I think they're pretty stylish.
I also like the entire episode where he's talking about his hat of like, the reason you never see anyone else wearing one is it was like a giveaway that he had to send off like 100 cereal box tops off for something, and that's why he's so attached to it.
Yeah, it's really funny because you would imagine, well, that's a hat with the Indigo League logo on. Surely everybody would be wearing those when they're going to the Indigo League. In
his universe, it's a really obscure piece of merch. I also
like
love as well, in the Pokemon universe, being a gym leader and following the Indigo League, it is quite a niche thing. It's obviously important to Ash because that's his whole goal, but when they hint at there's a wider world of Pokemon where no one cares about battling.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, Ash Ketchum's idea is to become a Pokemon master, but most of the people that they encounter in the anime just want to chill.
Like, the people he's hanging out with, like Brock, right? Brock doesn't care.
Well, Brock specifically wants to become a Pokemon breeder, right?
Yes.
Which sounds a little bit creepy, but it's basically just that he wants to, look after and conserve Pokemon, right? Like,
yeah, also Brock's a bit creepy, so...
Brock is, like, that's the thing, Brock wants to be a breeder himself, so...
He does. Also, has he got the best line in the show of, like, I'll turn this handy frying pan into
a drying pan?
Hey, I know! I'll use my trusty frying pan as a drying pan!
Speaking of hats as well, I also give a shout out to Red's hat.
Yeah.
I've talked before about I unironically love the idea of Red from Pokemon Red becoming, like, the Sephiroth of Pokemon, who should always be the optional super boss at the end of every game.
Every time you went into, like, the end game and you went to, like, have to do Mount Silver or the equivalent, You just go through a dungeon, and at the end, Red's here again.
Yeah, like I say, he should be the optional super boss. Like, he should be like Bahamut Zero or something like that. Every time he talks, he should always be ellipses.
I love that they did that in Sun and Moon, where an older version of Red and Blue show up, and Blue's just like, yeah, hi, we're Red and Blue, and we're gonna kick your ass. Isn't that right, Red? And it's still just like ...
The thing is, there's so much personality gotten across in those ... dots, because you challenge him and it's ... question mark, and when he loses, it's ... exclamation point, because he's angry silent.
Oh, but Ash Ketchum and Red are very individual characters, Karl.
Yes.
And people might often mistake the player character in Pokemon Red and Blue, or when you fight Red in Gold and Silver and their remakes. Just, you might think, oh, hey, I'm playing as Ash, but you're very specifically playing as Red and going against Blue. But as somebody that essentially got into Pokemon via the anime and Pokemania and played the video games, you know, a year or two later when I was already into Pokemon, you kind of as a kid just go, oh, I'm playing as Ash and that guy's Gary.
Especially as well when one of the suggested names in Pokemon Red is Ash.
Is it in Pokemon Red or was it in Pokemon Yellow?
I think in one of the suggested names is Ash. The other one is Satoshi, which is the name of the character in the Japanese version.
In the Japanese. But yeah, going into that, Karl, Ash Ketchum, known as Satoshi in Japan, is a character in the Pokemon franchise owned by Nintendo, Game Freak, and Creatures Inc. He was the protagonist of the Pokemon anime for the first 25 seasons.
It's the joke people make, right, of like Ash is now the ideal employee. He's a 10-year-old with 30 years experience.
And yeah, you know, Ash is a fantastic protagonist, and we often talk about long-running sitcoms like The Simpsons, just, oh, well, people know that there's a strong, 9 seasons-ish, and then it kind of has like a decent period of time and then a proper fall-off.
Yeah, and like just Zombie Simpsons, as it's known, whereas like there has now been 20 straight seasons of Simpsons being bad. 20 years of it just sucking ass.
Yeah, it's a kid's show for the most part. It's pretty simple and kind of just revolves around a similar format for every new region, but it's why it's a simple enough premise to just keep being relatively great.
It's because it's an anime as well. They can do that anime thing of just refreshing the entire cast every couple of seasons, which keeps the show itself fresh and allows it to tell fresh storylines with the same character.
And importantly, with the sake of Pokemon, it's a good way to have all of the new Pokemon become Ash's new team over that season, and it not only is a fresh cast of characters, essentially, it's also a way to promote all the new Pokemon in your new game, right?
You're gonna be my partner?
And in that vein, what is your favourite one of Ash's Pokemon that he gets throughout his journey? Discounting, of course, Pikachu.
This is with the caveat that I pretty much got up to about Hoenn in the anime, and mainly have only seen clips of since then. But as a person who's massively into water starters, I've just got to give a shout out to A, little Squirtle, and B, the adorable little Totodile.
How did Squirtle not become like a costume in the games like Surfing Pikachu? It's such an easy costume, right? Just giving sunglasses.
Yeah. It's infuriating that we've never had one of those, mystery gift event Pokemon where it's just a Squirtle. We've got Ash Hat Pikachu with every different Ash Hat, and we haven't had just a Squirtle with sunglasses.
Yeah, like Squirtle is such a great idea. Like I said, it's a pair of sunglasses. Genius. I think for me, it's a toss-up between either his Tauros. So like that, in our version, we never saw the episode where he got that.
Yeah, he just turned up one day and it's like, Ash, do you remember when you caught those 36 Tauros? It's like,
no.
When did this happen? Off screen?
I also like Charizard. I don't particularly like Charizard as a Pokemon in the games.
The personality in the anime.
Show. Yeah, in the anime, but just never listening to him.
Then it eventually getting Ash becoming strong enough where it actually does respect Ash and does listen to him. And, like, Charizard has one of the best character arcs in all of the Pokemon anime.
Charizard is the Vegeta of the Pokemon anime, right?
I have to say, as much as, you know, okay, the fan theory of, well, Ash didn't actually have enough badges to, like, you know, make Charizard listen to him all the time, and that's just a fan theory, but that Charmander was about to die.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden he becomes a Charizard and he's too big for Ash's bridges. Like, oh, well, fuck you, I'm not going to listen to it. He saved your life, Charizard.
That's why one of the best things about the Pokemon anime is the amount of character they give to the Pokemon, even though by design they can only say their own names. Like, look at how much personality Pikachu has. And Pikachu has never said anything but Pika Pika, except for in that one film where Pikachu talks and it freaks everybody out.
Why won't you get in your Pokeball?
It's because I always want to be with you.
Talking about kind of fan theories of Pokemon, it's kind of my theory of why so many people are entrenched in their own generations is probably because a lot of people that got into Pokemon also watched those generations worth of animes at the same time when they were a kid, and therefore they got to see all of the cool extra personality that those Pokemon were given.
That they then retroactively globbed onto the Pokemon in their own games.
Exactly. So then when they see new generations and they go, oh, I don't like those designs, it's because all they get to see is the design of the Pokemon. They're not watching the anime anymore, and they're not getting the extra personality out of each of those Pokemon and seeing how cute they all are.
Again, is there any like Pokemon personality that you like from the series of the anime that you watched that you can recall? Because I did like Snubbull. I like Snubbull being just like Snubbull. Just like being like a snooty little shit like a lapdog or something. It's like that's the perfect personality for the lapdog Pokemon.
I did really like Apom and Totodile as a combo because I mentioned Totodile earlier. Just the amount of like just happiness out of that little Totodile is so adorable and so spot on for like. I don't actually love the Feraligatr line that much, but the Totodile in the anime is just so fun.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of a lot of like Team Rocket's Pokemon as well.
Oh yeah.
I love as well because Team Rocket they basically kept their teams. They did get new Pokemon issues, but Jesse and James always kept their Weezing and their Arbok. So Arbok and Weezing get like genuine arcs throughout the seasons.
Yeah. And, you know, obviously have to mention like voice actors for Team Rocket, like, you know, rest in peace. Like, they're both phenomenal and brought to life those characters so well.
You put on some great performances.
But, you know, also the Pokemon themselves, including, like, Meowth, who was voiced by James, like, they're so fantastic. And you think about, like, oh, well, how much personality can they get across on, like, the Team Rocket Pokemon that show up for 2 minutes every episode? It's like, think about, like, the Wobbuffet and the Victory Bell, like, all Victory Bell does is scream and eat James. Like,
it's funny every time.
It is.
That's the thing. It's funny every single time. You know it's going to happen, but then you don't know how it's going to happen.
Yeah. Think of how iconic that Wobbuffet is, right?
It's great.
We're Team Rocket, messing up at the speed of light.
We may mess up, but we do it right.
Like, is the Team Rocket opening speech one of the absolute most top tier villain intros ever, especially when they have the running gag of them like getting their ass beat in 30 seconds. Like, again, the longer that joke goes on, the funnier it gets. The fact they have an entire speech, they choreograph their own moves, so they form the T and the R of Team Rocket, and then still get their ass beat
every time.
Every time.
And it's a great running gag, and I find it interesting as well because they nearly always find like the perfect amount of time to have that gag in each episode. Like, it's only normally a few minutes of each episode, right?
Yeah.
It never really overstays its welcome, apart from probably in the movies a little bit because they have to dredge it out a bit more.
Also, as well, it's really fun. And I love that really as the series goes on, Ash starts to get... It's like, really? You're doing this again? I know what your speech is like. Yeah, but we like doing it.
And I also love the fact that, they eventually retcon the idea of, well, actually, they don't get the speech right because it kind of doesn't make any sense of what they're saying compared to the evil actions that they have.
Prepare for trouble.
By all means, stay, and we'll make it double.
To protect the world from devastation.
To unite all peoples within our nation.
To denounce the evils of truth and love.
To extend our reach to the stars above.
Jesse!
James!
Team Rocket, blast off at the speed of light.
Surrender now, or prepare to fight.
That's right.
They open with, to protect the world from devastation, to unite all people within our nation.
It makes zero sense.
And then they do is try and steal Pikachu.
I'll be honest, if I was walking down the street and two people came out and did an immaculately choreographed dance routine while giving a speech like that and then punched me in the face and stole my cat, I'd be like, fair play. Right?
I'd still be pissed off, but I would at least admire them, right?
It's just the amount of swagger as well.
They have so much swagger, it's great.
Team Rocket has got to be as well one of the greatest antagonistic forces in fiction, because you know what? So easy to cosplay. All you need is a black t-shirt, black trousers, and just put a big red R on your chest.
Ash Ketchum is an interesting character because I think they're a perfect foil for everybody around them, but they're definitely not the driving force. I love that Pokemon anime almost in spite of Ash, but I still appreciate Ash because he's kind of the exact character he needs to be.
Oh yeah, he's just perpetually excited by the idea of new Pokemon. He is the perfect audience surrogate when the audience is intended to be little kids. When Ash is new Pokemon, holy shit, let's go see them.
Yeah, because outside of that aspect, Ash is a bit whiny and a bit of a dick sometimes, stealing Misty's bike that he never gives back.
Does he ever give that back?
Again, I've seen maybe the first 6-7 seasons of a 25-season show. I'm not 100% sure, but I will look up and I will put a clip in if Ash ever repays the bike moment.
To be fair, in their universe, a bike costs $9,999,000, right? I don't want to pay that back.
We all had that moment as a kid, right? Where just the amount of money they were asking for a bike was more poker dollars than you can carry in-game. You're like, how the hell am I meant to get this bike? What the hell is going on?
It does make a lot more sense, though, when you realise poker dollars are closer to yen. A little kid, it might as well be 100 million Infinity dollars, right? When something costs $1,000, right? Because you've got no concept of what that is.
I mean, how many times do you see a kid be like, oh, what would you do if you got given $100? Oh, I'd buy a helicopter. Because, yeah, of course, the kids don't have a concept of value just yet. And, not to put the blame on the kids, but it's I can't imagine paying hundreds of thousands of pounds for a bike. Do you think that people who do Tour de France are even spending $500,000 on their bikes?
I'm probably at least 100 or so grand. Because I think I've seen breakdowns of that. And those bikes are precision engineered. They're basically the Ferraris of bikes. But you think in the Pokemon world, bikes would be super cheap. Because the guy who gives you the free bike voucher even says my Pokemon can fly wherever I need to go. Why would I need a bike? I respect the businessman who's okay, no one needs bikes anymore. I'll make my money by just selling one bike.
Yeah.
We need to sell one.
I'm not sure it's the greatest plan when you've also given away free bike vouchers.
That means, if you've not seen later in the show, you must have, though, gone back and watched the episode of Ash finally becoming a champion, right?
Yeah, so I've watched some of the highlights of the different later tournaments where it becomes the Alolan champion and then the world champion, and I've seen bits like that, yeah.
Throughout all of Pokemon, 26 seasons, they never once played the theme song in any episode until Ash becomes champion. It's that was earned.
Yeah, fair play. That absolutely earned that. They were waiting.
Yeah, and it's the original theme song as well, and it whips. It gets you so hyped when you're watching Ash do the final Pikachu Kamehameha wave, and it starts playing I wanna be the very best. And you're oh, let's go!
Awesome, Pikachu! Way to go!
That's the essence of Pikachu and Dad.
Have you got any other Pokemon theme song in your head of like a secondary great song behind that one?
Pokemon Johto. That was really catchy. On the Way to Viridian City.
Yeah.
We're on the way to Viridian City. So this is a good walking song, right?
I do like the one where it's like, if you want to be a master, Pokemon.
That one is like rad as fuck as well. I've got like the album when I was like a little kid. It's on my shelf somewhere.
People let us know in the comments how hyped the later ones get. Like, recommend some of the later theme songs, because
yes,
I'm only aware of like the first, again, like few seasons worth of those theme songs and those couple of first albums. So I've got to assume that the intros stay hype because it's Pokemon and it's anime.
Yeah, the theme songs always stay hype, and the Japanese ones always go especially hard. Because that's the Japanese trend is to get actual real bands in to record songs. Like, we're not saying the people who record the ones for Western versions aren't real bands, but normally like, they're session musicians who record to sing the song that someone else wrote.
Yeah, I think Jason Page, who sang the original theme, I think that's a similar thing, right? That it's probably the thing that they're most notable for. It's not that they were in a massive band or anything beforehand. Just I know that they're constantly seen in like live performances still doing the Pokemon song.
Yeah, and there's been people who've like broken down like this might be one of the greatest vocal performances. 'Cause, like the guy fucking wail, he goes ham. There's a reason why that theme song. He
nailed that song.
The reason why as well, like, it's just so popular because the amount of energy it has.
Don't really know anyone that wouldn't get hyped to that song, even if they're not a particularly big Pokemon fan. They, at least around our age, just likelihood is they've heard the song via osmosis and just go, that's a hype song.
I've been to like numerous like events, like anime and cosplay themed events, where someone does that on karaoke, and it's just guaranteed to bring the house down every time.
I've been to clubs where they've played it, and it's not necessarily been, nerdy night at a club or anything. I've just heard it played every now and then. It's not a common thing, but people pop off for it.
People do, because it's a great song. It's legitimately a fantastic song. Like any song where people instinctually know all the lyrics is a good song.
Yeah, true. But, speaking of people using their voice, Karl, we've got to give credit to the voice actors of Ash Ketchum.
Yes.
In Japanese, the character is voiced by Rika Matsumoto, and then in the English dub, he was voiced by Veronica Taylor in the first 8 seasons, and then Sarah Natasheni afterwards. I hope I got that last name right, but I've only ever seen it written down. But yeah, I think I never really noticed when I looked up clips the difference between the two English voice actors. I just think both of them do a fantastic job. It's a great performance, and yeah, I just, when it's like no notes, they just do Ash really well.
It's like with Jesse and James, right? Absolutely zero notes. Those voice actors nail it in every scene. Like, the only complaint I have is that you can distinctly hear during some of the line readings the nibbling sound of them gnawing on the scenery. They weren't able to quite get that out in the edit.
Maybe not, no, but I think it's a rarity for the English dub back in the 90s to have a good, dub version.
To be that good from second one, right? Like, just James. Like, every now and again, I just still think he's like, ooh. Like, do you think it was intentional that they made Jesse and James like the ultimate, just fucking like gal pal gay best friends dynamic?
Oh god, it's great, right? Just the most power couple of power couples. Like,
it's fantastic.
Even if it's not in a sexual way, just them as a pair.
Yeah, I read them as best friends.
Yeah,
like James is Jesse's gay best friend. And Jesse is James's gay best friend.
I was going to say, I think they're both, maybe intentionally, maybe accidentally, like, they're both very queer-coded, at least.
You can read into that way. So it was one of those things of, like, maybe that wasn't intentional, but as you grow older, you can 100% read it that way.
Mm-hmm. And, if they're not, they're not. I don't know if, like, it's established within canon, but it doesn't really matter, you know what I mean?
It doesn't, no. It's not important to their characterization, so it's never really dwelled on the show. And if some fans have that reading and it helps them, like, accept a part of themselves, so be it, right? It's a completely valid interpretation.
The only member of Team Rocket whose sexuality does matter is Meowth, because he learns English for that other Meowth.
Yep.
He learns to speak English. No other Pokemon has done that, and it's just because he was horny for one posh Meowth.
Yeah. Not to mention as well, they never at any point realise the value of the talking Meowth.
They're always like on the breadline, like we can't afford food. You've got the only talking Pokemon in the world. They must be getting great funding in terms of like, I don't know how it works, but they don't get money for food, but they seem to be getting wired money for all of like the crazy mechanical builds that they make every episode, right?
I just read it as like Team Rocket has a lot of resources and Jesse and James are the only ones who keep putting requests in for it.
Well, that's what I think, is that they're not allowed to put requests in for I want money for expenses, but they are allowed to request, can we get giant mechanical crab to come and fight Pikachu?
Oh no, what's that? Prepare for trouble, we scared you once more.
And we're back with our Kingler to settle the score.
You're the only people who seem to fill in the expense report, so sure.
Like, are we allowed to loan out the Gyarados submarine, please? Oh, how much money do you spend on hot air balloons?
Too many.
Just especially custom-made Meowth balloons every time.
I respect Team Rocket's commitment to branding.
Mm-hmm. And obviously there's many really cool, like, stylish characters in Pokemon, but I do think the simplicity of Ash's design is fantastic, and just all you need is the cap going backwards, right?
Yeah, it's like those early seasons are so peak because the designs are so simple, but as the seasons go on, you realize, well, they've got to have more complex designs because they've already done all the simple ones. That's why, like, a couple of designs that always stand out to me is like Flannery, where her design is so simple compared to all the other designs of gym leaders in that gen, that its simplicity makes it stand out more than the more over-designed ones.
Oh, yes, Flannery's cool, yeah. I do think that's one of the kind of weird things about the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire remakes, is that they really, really overdid the redesigns of those gym leaders.
Yes.
Some for the worse and some for the better, but they just went absolutely ham with giving them, you know, the most outfits of outfits.
Yeah, that's why I like just some of the simpler ones are better, right? Because they're just more immediately identifiable.
Yeah, because you mentioned Flannery, she's just wearing a crop top and jeans. I don't particularly like Sword and Shield. I think they're one of the weakest generations of Pokemon game-wise, but I do really like the design that they have, where all of the gym leaders have like the uniform on to look like sports uniforms, right?
Yes, that's a fun one. And they're like,
they all
their
have
sports
their own
uniform is
unique
customized.
flair, but all of them look like they are actually in an organized group.
And then you have Leon, who just has possibly the worst design of any gym leader in the series. It's so bad. So, Lucas, I have to cut you off there, because I was just looking up in the background, like any Pokemon that Team Rocket had. That'd be maybe interesting to mention. And this is the picture the Pokemon fandom wiki uses of Jesse's Grumpig.
Just dancing up. Dear God.
No, Lucas, am I wrong in thinking that looks a little bit weird?
Looks a little sus.
That's a little sus. You want to put that picture on screen for the folks?
Oh no, it's already up, don't worry.
It's on screen. It's been on screen the entire time.
Oh, that Grumpig wants something and I'm not sure it's a Pokemon battle.
Why use that shot?
And that is one thing, especially anime-wise, a lot of my favourite Pokemon aren't necessarily final form Pokemon. Like final stage Pokemon like a Grumpig. I much prefer Spoink. Especially considering it's just the poor Spoink. The Pokedex entry nearly every single game is just, if it stops bouncing, its heart will stop and it'll die.
To be fair, it's no wonder it's panicking all the time, right? That's panicking Skywalker.
I really like a lot of early stage Pokemon, so it kind of gets a bit of a pass for me in terms of a lot of Ash's team, where he doesn't necessarily fully evolve them. He kind of just keeps them at the Pokemon they like.
Yes.
And, you know, I think a good example is just on my desk here, just little Alolan Vulpix just being cute as hell. It's just,
it's fabulous as fuck, let's go.
I love Alolan Ninetales as well, but Galarian Ponyta, for example, I much prefer to Galarian Rapidash. I think Galarian Rapidash looks a bit too much.
Yeah.
With Ponyta keeps the design super simple. And yeah, it's really nice that Ash uses a mixture of different stage Pokemon in his team, even though it doesn't really make sense when he's going into battle with them.
It's not efficient for them to do that, but still.
But you do end up with really cool moments where just in the first Indigo League I think he goes to, where Krabby becomes MVP.
Victory for the green!
Krabby, we did it! We got it!
Krabby just pulls off an awesome moment and then does obviously become a Kingler, evolves and proves itself. But yeah, I do think it makes for really fun moments. It also makes for very infuriating moments at times where obviously Ash and Pikachu have to kind of get power reset every season.
Oh yeah, because that infamous one, right, where it's
the Snivy.
Ash, which has beaten Ash's Pikachu, which has beaten legendaries, gets ass whooped by a Snivy.
I'm recording my journey, and remember, this is Snivy's first battle.
Pikachu!
Just a literal starter Pokemon. I think it's
like he's fresh out of the egg, right?
Yeah, I think it's literally the trainer's like first battle with the Snivy or something. I'll have to get the clip, but
yeah,
just the idea of Ash that's gone through 1,000 battles just gets his ass whooped by a little Snivy.
Yeah, I have just sent us all a picture of Team Rocket absolutely swagging it the fuck out. Have you ever seen such opulence?
Just sunbathing on the top of a Meowth hot air balloon. What do you do if you see that approach? Karl, going back to Ash.
Yes.
He has been criticised for being stuck in a floating timeline, as well as his long-lasting inability to win major Pokemon League competitions in the series. Obviously, that's being written from the perspective of people watching it throughout the years. Now he has become the world champion. He's not stuck in that floating timeline anymore. They decided to end the season with Ash being the world champion.
Well, that's what they said, right?
Going back
Every
home,
time that
right?
was a criticism that got brought up, I was always confused, like, but the moment he wins, that's his arc over, and people clearly like following this character.
And they committed to it, which is awesome, because you know that there must have been that temptation to be, yeah, but we do like Ash and Pikachu, should we just keep it going? And no, he had 25 seasons, he had a long time to finally become the world champion. He did it, he's going to celebrate and go back home, and now we start a new journey for a new generation.
Yeah. Then he'll occasionally show up and offer advice. It seems like Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Where Yugi just stopped turning up after a certain point.
I mean, he saved the world from how many gods trying to destroy the world. At some point, he's like, you know what? I need a break.
Even a king needs to rest.
I do appreciate the balls of a franchise to just go fresh and have a brand new cast and a brand new protagonist, because it's a risky move, right?
It is, but it's Pokemon, right? They're going to make money.
But yeah, it says that Ash's longevity and his persistence has also been positively received, and his character received attention for teaching important and relatable lessons to children. Ash then ultimately became a Alola League champion in Pokemon, the series Sun and Moon Ultra Legends. That's a mouthful.
Can you imagine being an Ultra Legend? Like, imagine being just a simple legend when the Ultra Legend walks in and starts slapping his dick across your face.
He became world champion in Pokemon Ultimate Journeys, the series. And the one thing that it doesn't note here that just gives Ash some, like, absolute style points is he becomes a monarch at one point. I think it's in the Kalos region. He becomes, like, a Pokemon monarch and gets given, like, the swaggest outfit.
He's not won a championship, but he's done plenty. He's got plenty of friends as well, because that's the lesson of Pokemon, isn't it? That in that episode where he's like, he finally becomes champion, the flashbacks to his journey, and not to, like, you know, all the victories and losses, it's to his friends that he made along the way. And you have the cuts to every person he met along his journey.
I didn't watch all of the bit where he does the recap through all of his friendships and stuff, essentially. I did, of course, look up the moment where he just goes and watches the Squirtle Squad doing a stage show.
Yeah, well, I think that season's really good. It's like a farewell to Ash.
Yeah, they gave him a farewell tour, essentially, which, again, just what a fantastic way to decide to give your character the ultimate send-off. They did it so well.
Yep, he meets all of his old friends. Everyone who's ever met gets their moment, shine. Like Team Rocket, they get to, like, you know, celebrate. They cheer for him.
Do you think he went back and saw the Safari guy that just pulled a gun on him?
They should have put a cut to him, and he should have been, like, scratching his head with his gun with his finger on the trigger. Right? So that's why he's not in any more episodes.
Again, going back to the episode with the Tauros that was banned, that's why, because just the guy running the safari just pulls a gun on Ash at some point, and yeah, that got censored pretty fast.
Well, and I think after that, in like the Japanese version, they shied away from ever showing anything that overtly violent ever again.
They learned the lesson. It's a kid show. Don't show people with real guns threatening your protagonist. I think, Karl, we can just move on to a little bit of trivia to end the video.
Yes. Tell me about some trivia about Mr. Ashle's Ketchum.
Well, Karl, one of Ash's most iconic things, his hat, in the original series was going to be similar to Red's hat in the original design from Pokemon Red and Green, but then underwent several changes until the final iconic Indigo League design. And I think that's a good thing to just differentiate them a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a solid choice. I think it's not necessarily an important distinction to change Red and Ash, but I like the idea that that's Ash's journey, and you play as a different character and you go on your own journey.
Well, you see Red as well in that Pokemon short series, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Pokemon Origins?
Pokemon Origins, I believe. Yeah, that's a rad series.
And I do love the differentiation between Ash and Red, where Ash is about exploring the world and Red is just hyper-focused on catch as many Pokemon as I can.
That's the thing, I think there's about 10 episodes in that mini-series, and it's just Red kicking everybody's ass and moving on.
They have that montage of him running through like the caves and he's just throwing like 50 Pokeballs a second because he's got to catch them all. Unlike Ash, who wants to just explore the world and battle, Red's like, no, I will be the best. He min-maxes the hell out of it. That's why his story's done in 10 episodes, not 26 seasons.
Yeah, it reminds me of when Oda, who makes One Piece, he did an interview at one point, I believe, where he was asked about Akainu, who is like the head of the Marines at one point in the show or in the manga, and it's like, okay, so what would happen if he was the protagonist? It's like, well, it'd be pretty boring because he'd immediately just go and find the One Piece and have no trouble because he's that powerful, and it just wouldn't be an interesting story because all he'd do is dominate the world and find the One Piece.
Well, that's be like, yeah, if the Pokemon anime was about Red, it would be 10 episodes long, as we saw in Pokemon Origins.
This guy is such a beast that when we make a show about him, it can only last 10 episodes because he just does it all.
Yeah, because he's Red. And he's not focused on getting friends or anything. He's like, I will be the Pokemon Master and beat up Mewtwo.
You Mewtwo then? Alright, sorry, but I have to catch you! Go, Gengar!
You also have that great moment where like Mewtwo versus Charizard, right?
Yeah, and the Mega Charizard X fight against it, right? Yeah.
The bit that I like is when he just goes to the cave, and I like it's one of the first times we've seen that part of like the games realized.
The like Cerulean Cave, yeah.
Yeah. And I like the idea that Mewtwo just waiting there for a challenge, and it's even surprised that someone would even dare to challenge it.
I do find it interesting. Obviously, it's just for gameplay. But the idea that they have a guard outside the cave, that means they know Mewtwo's in there, right? And they're just like, look, we can't send children in here. Mewtwo will kill them.
It's too beef. It's like, there's a tiger in there. We're not going to go in and get the tiger because it's a tiger, but
if you've got a bunch of badges proving that you're good at fighting tigers, we might give you a shot.
We might give you a shot, yeah.
And Karl, obviously, Ash has been the protagonist for 25 years worth of Pokemon. It does say here that Ash has defeated more regional champions on screen in the animated series than any other trainer, having officially won battles against Iris, Steven, Cynthia, and Leon, as well as an unofficial battle against Alder, who fell asleep before the battle began and forfeited soon after waking up. So presumably that was just his Pokemon for Ash, but the trainer was not awake at the time. But the idea that, like, God even took on Cynthia and that Garchomp.
Is the classic, right? Everyone always talks about that one jump scare where you walk into a house and Cynthia's just there and instantly locks eyes and teleports towards you.
Just as the piano kicks in. So no. I love Ash. I love the Pokemon anime. I don't talk about the anime too much, but ultimately it's why I became a Pokemon fan in the first place. And I'd be interested to know what part of the Pokemon machine got everybody watching into Pokemon itself, because they just have so many avenues, including cute little plushes, to just get us all in and become that mass media empire.
You've got plushes for everything, man. Every Pokemon is someone's favourite Pokemon, so it's got to have a plush.
And every Pokemon has a plush. At least in Japan, if you're lucky enough to get them from there.
Someone out there owns them all.
God, yeah.
I bet, do a search for it. I bet there's someone who's on Reddit of like, I've got them all.
There must be, which is kind of amazing and kind of terrifying.
At the same time, though, if you went into that person's house, would you be able to resist diving into them head first?
Oh, absolutely not. But I would also find it hard to not just try and find one of the Pokemon I hate and just, like, tear it apart.
Do you think you could? Do you think, like, if you, like... No, I mean, like, if you got, like, the Finneon plush, would you suddenly be overcome by so much rage you'd tear it apart?
I don't think I'd want to tear apart a Finneon, because ultimately Finneon's just inoffensive. But if I came across, like, a Brooksish or a Simipour or something like that, just the really offensively bad designs, I think I'd be throwing hands.
It reminds me of that, like, tweet from ages ago now. Someone's like, what Pokemon do you think you could defeat in a fight? And, like, the top response is a Mr. Mime. And their reasoning is, not because I think I could beat a Mr. Mime, but I think if I ever saw one, I'd be overcome by the exact amount of strength to defeat a Mr. Mime.
And then, I didn't even think about Mr. Rhyme. Talk about horrific designs.
Just he's got tap dance on your grave.
And you know it could.
Tap dance on your grave, motherfucker.
Oh, thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a lovely day.
Cheers, everybody.
Wow, Karl. That was a really great video that we both just watched.
It was indeed, yes. I greatly enjoyed our discussion of Topic.
I love Topic.
I do, yes. Like, you know, the stuff we talked about while discussing Topic was very interesting, and I hope the audience found it interesting too.
You're one sexy man. Fill up, J. Fry.
And you know who else we have to show love to, Karl? That would be, of course, the people on our shout-out tier over on our Patreon.
We certainly do, Lucas, and if anyone would like to join our Patreon to get a shout-out at the end of the videos, they can do so by following the links found below. As a reminder, we have a standing offer, a challenge, if you will, to our audience to try and come up with a name to shout out that is difficult for us to pronounce or just embarrasses us with our lack of knowledge, as people did last month, with the reference to the Transformers movie we didn't get.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, that was a rough one. People certainly let us know about that, but hopefully maybe we do a little bit better this time with knowing what all the references are.
Ba weep grana weep ninny bong. Ba weep grana weep ninny bong. Ba weep grana weep ninny bong.
Well, I certainly get the reference in the first person we have to shout out. So the first person we have to give a shout out to is Bee of Awesome. Specifically, their name reads, Bee of Awesome do a fusion dance to make Karl or Carcass. P.S. Wish me luck with the calves this month. And Lucas, are you feeling a fusion dance?
I mean, yeah, sure, let's go.
Okay, so do you remember the fusion dance?
I do, because you got to kind of go that way and then that way.
You go that way, and then it's you want to do it. So
fusion. There we go. We did our best. The disco
but also as well, we'd have to get really far back as well to make sure we could fit our arms on screen. Because I feel like with our height difference, if we try to do a fusion dance, we would do the thing where your fingers don't quite connect, and we'd end up creating like a really skinny one or a really fat one.
But then the next person we have to shout out is Dan Daly. So thank you so much, Dan Daly.
And I am a big fan of the alliteration. The more alliteration, the better, in my opinion, which a couple of our Patreon supporters have taken to heart by turning their name into a tongue twister.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
But there's no tongue twister here, Lucas, with Judge Dredd. Simply Judge Dredd. And I just want to give one more shout out, because every time I point out that Judge Dredd is supposed to be like satire, some people don't get it. And it's like, do you really not get that it's supposed to be satire when Judge Dredd uses white phosphorus indoors?
Shh, Karl. That's just badass, right? That's just cool.
It's like, well, I didn't realise Judge Dredd is a commentary on the over-militarisation of the police. White phosphorus grenades authorised for use indoors, next to people's houses.
Oh. That would lead to, Karl, people kicking the bucket.
It would indeed.
That's how we thank the next person who supports us, kicking bucket with a little bucket emoji afterwards.
I love as well, like, Again, at some point, we're going to get people just submitting hieroglyphics.
We have to, yeah.
Like, people are going to be submitting hieroglyphics or just, like, Sanskrit. Or just like, okay, I translated the sound that an owl made. There you go, done.
Like,
figure that out.
What happens when you put Wingdings into Patreon games, right?
Oh god, I don't want to find out. I don't want to find out what happens when you try and get Microsoft Sam to say Wingdings.
Put out an APB on a Eustace R. Dewo. Better start with Greektown.
Right. And the next person we have to shout out is Lucille DeSteele. And thank you to Lucille DeSteele for letting me put in more clips of one of my favourite film, Real Steel.
Please do something!
Not yet!
That's right, Charlie, not yet.
I don't care how limp the excuse is. If there's an opportunity to put a clip of Real Steel into a video, I'm putting a clip of Real Steel into that video. Specifically my favourite clip, where right at the end of the film, Hugh Jackman, who's in control of the robot, just go with it, he's fighting like an 85-ton mega super billion-dollar robot, and he just goes... he just gives him like, I'm not fucking done, I didn't hear no bell.
I gotta tell you folks, the champ looks tired. This robot seems to be running on empty. I don't believe it. Adam is taunting Zeus. Mr. Turbo. He's actually asking for more.
And Karl, if we're going to use this as an excuse to throw in some like fun clips from comfort movies, then I have to thank Michael Tatum for supporting us, so I can throw in a clip of one of my favourite Mikes, and that is Mike Wazowski from Monsters Inc.
Oh, well, hello there. What's your name?
Michael Tatum.
Is it ever confirmed that his full name is Michael Wazowski, or is it just Mike?
I don't know about the Michael. It's definitely Mike Wazowski. I don't know whether it's Michael Wazowski.
Because I know, like, Sully is James P. Sullivan, right? Yeah. Like, he has, like, a full proper name. I'll double check. And I'll put, like, a picture on screen to confirm whether or not... Is he Michael Wazowski, or is it Mike?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you, right? When I found out your name isn't Lucas.
Shush, that doesn't need to go in. It's fine.
The thing is, that's law. That's deep law. So, wait, what? Lucas's name isn't Lucas? The fuck is it?
Shh, cut the clip.
Shh. Don't tell people his secret real name. So we move on now to, speaking of secret real name, Rosalindus Memphis. And I did try, last time we shouted out Rosalindus Memphis, who is a returning supporter, thank you very much, a clip from the song Walking in Memphis, because I like that song, and it's the only song I could think of with the word Memphis in it. I put in 1 second of that piano intro, instantly copyright struck. Keep in mind as well that this shout out goes at the end of the video.
Yeah.
So at the end of a 50-minute long video, whoever owns the rights to that song, Mark Cohen, I think it is, his music label must have seen like this video. Oh, it's a 55-minute long video. They use 1 second of his song.
We own that shit.
We can claim all that money. It's like, fuck you.
I'm going to make things a little bit more difficult for you then, Karl, because I'm going to say, thank you to the next person who is on our chart tier, of course, Split Scream. And I was going to mention, as you mentioned music, just putting in like some Starscream music from Transformers Devastation.
Prepare to be lost in space, Autobot!
Oh, you can get away with that. Video game music you always get away with.
Oh, okay.
So I'll definitely put the clip in of Starscream's theme song from Transformers Devastation. That game whips ass. And you know what? Whoever wrote that song won't send us a copyright strike because they want it to be shared. They know how rad it is. Like, you know what, Karl? You put that clip of Starscream's theme in. It's awesome. More people need to hear it.
Hopefully a Transformers clip will make up for our like devastating Transformers miss last month.
And I will certainly put in the clip of Starscream flying into frame as like Butt Rock starts playing in the background in the middle of space, where he just screams like, "Prepare to be lost in space, Autobots!" My favourite quote from Starscream is in like the challenge mode, where one of the challenges is fight Starscream and Thundercracker and like 15 other fucking jets at once. And it's the only time in the game Starscream ever says the line, death from above. But he says it so quick because he's flying as he says it. He's like, death from above! And just flies in.
Destruction from above!
And as mentioned earlier, there's a gauntlet being thrown down for our audience on Patreon to challenge us with tongue twisters. Someone's taken that gauntlet, dipped it in shit and slapped me across the face with it. So their name is the Boledos Bajando Baja Blast Buffing Bacas de Caca de Buffalo Bombonado Bolodeses Bucanada Ebaca Bailando Con Barbosa. And I will say, I'm a fan of tongue twisters. I'm not a fan of tongue twisters in languages I don't speak. I like my favourite poem. Like Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear, Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair, so Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't Fuzzy Wuzzy.
And in that cut...
So I'm good at tongue twisters, just not ones in languages I don't speak.
I was giggling because Karl has clearly cut him fumbling a tongue twister out.
That's getting cut as well, fuck it.
And then I guess one name to challenge me to shout out is Tiniqui Ochata Octiclane Tomi. And you always correct me on this one. It's a Nahuatl, the language, yes?
Nahuatl, I believe, yes. Like
getting
a
there.
Mexicano, I believe.
I'm getting there
Again, we
with
don't
that
speak
one.
the language, so we appreciate people trying to challenge us on our pronunciation, but for a tongue twister, give me a tongue twister in English. And speaking of little, the final person we have to shout out is ghost emoji, little ghost emoji, ghost emoji. And Lucas, who's your favourite little ghost? Is it Casper? It's got to be Casper.
I mean, the moment you said little ghost, the first thing that came to my brain was Casper. So if not my favourite, it's at least word association, right?
Yeah, like Casper, like the friendly little ghost. Like, should we do a video about Casper at some point? I'd like to rewatch that movie to see if it's held up. To be fair, I would actually low-key kind of love a reboot of Casper the asshole ghost with a gun.
Oh, dear. But yeah, I guess thank you all once again for a new month of more support from all you lovely folks. And yeah, it's just always appreciated. Thank you so much.
Support is never expected, but always appreciated. Thank you. Have a great time.
Yeah.